All right, nobody move. Who pantsless? Don't act innocent. Pants hit the floor, now it's evidence. Someone slipped, someone fled, all we know. Les lost his threads. Who pantsless? Oh, we're gonna find out.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. I am Chuck Williams.
And I am Maya White. Look, it is the greatest unresolved crime in modern sporting history, and we are live to break down the sheer fallout of this week's matches.
I am telling you right now, Peter Kanadoris orchestrated that pantsing, or maybe Commissioner Deborah McCoy. I mean, they have the motive, they have the means, and they absolutely have the psychological profile to pull off a stunt like that.
Well, Dan Evans was practically standing at the scene of the crime. He had prime positioning. But look, the league investigation is ongoing, and we will get to the latter ramifications of that incident shortly.
Just a quick note to you listening at home. Your feed is fine. You did not click the wrong link. We are filling in today because the regular crew is just completely off the grid.
Yeah, completely gone. Bobby took a fishing trip with 0 cell reception, 0 responsibilities, and, knowing him, 0 shirts.
Oh, absolute 0 shirts. And Sally is currently at a mindfulness yoga retreat. And the rumor mill strongly suggests Matthew Falls is at that exact same retreat.
Which is a whole other situation. And then beautiful, simple Lenny took himself down to a Phillip Island Airbnb, set up a ring of folding chairs in the lounge room, and is just watching WrestleMania on Netflix with the boys.
If there's a folding chair within a 10-mile radius, Lenny will find it, so it is just us holding down the fort. If you are a new listener jumping in, here is your quick 15-second primer. You have tuned in to the Shit Talkers League.
Right.
It is a Supercoach AFL league exclusively for Richmond Tigers fans that operates on zero logic, pure personal vendettas, and utter unpredictability.
Exactly. And to understand how wild the Round 5 matchups were, you first need a vibe check on the 20 unique individuals running these clubs, right? Because their off-field personalities dictate their entire drafting strategy.
Let's run the 20-team blitz right now. We start with the egos. You have the Paul Stanleys, pure glam rock and face paint, roaring Tigers, relying entirely on star power to fill the stands, and Lalore, whose entire club culture is built on wildly optimistic delusion.
But somehow they back it up on the scoreboard. From the egos, you move straight into the brawlers. These are the teams that ignore fancy stats and just, want to physically hurt you. Jungleland brings pure grit and Bruce Springsteen energy.
Yeah, sweat and denim.
Totally. Rellik is a team you don't even try to beat. You just hope your premium midfielders walk away without a severe limp. And Sacred Snapper rely purely on physical contact.
And then you've got the Phlegm Dogs giving you zero nonsense. Tigerfrowl will play in the same jungle but bring a remarkably bad attitude to every single stoppage. And of course, the Riley Boys Tigers, old-school brawlers, currently under intense media scrutiny because their owner cannot keep his pants on in public.
Which brings us to the weirdos. And I just don't understand the salary cap management here. You have Smilly Squad.
Look, I have to stop you right there. I have looked at their champion data stats. They're not a football team. They are literally a high school science fair project that accidentally mutated in a lab.
It's bizarre.
They're drafting life-size potatoes to run off the halfback flank. Like, how does a root vegetable execute a spoil?
It defies physics, but they are highly competitive. Then you have the Munchers, who make no logical sense but keep banking premiership points. Dunder Mifflin, a literal mid-sized paper company that somehow wandered onto a footy oval.
Just logging clearances.
Right. And the Comrita Tigers, who operate less like a footy club and more like a David Attenborough wildlife documentary.
And let's not forget the magic and the chaos tier. Houdini's rivals rely on smoke and mirrors, hiding their actual interchange bench. Absmagic plays 3 steps ahead of everyone else.
Always.
Layla of the Wild has no rules, just pure, unpamed vibes. And Thunderstruck will give you moments of lightning brilliance, followed by sudden, catastrophic power outages in the 4th quarter.
Which leaves the danger tier. Sizzling girls who turn the intensity all the way up and usually just burn themselves in the process. The Vipers constantly lurking in the tall grass waiting for a mistake. And the Dodgy Wogs, who are perennially one headline away from serious legal trouble.
20 teams, 10 games. Let's look at the heavyweight matchups because round 5 was completely out of control. 2 undefeated teams clashed with lower-ranked sides and the results were staggering. Absmagic took down Sacred Snapper and my brain is melting trying to comprehend how they actually pulled this off.
Well, it was pure, unchecked psychological warfare. Sacred Snappers were dominating the midfield clearances. I mean, they were leading at three-quarter time.
Oh, they were flying.
Ernest Hemingway was having an absolute blinder. He had 38 disposals at the final break. He was on track to break the all-time Supercoach single-game scoring record.
And then the fourth quarter starts, and Hemingway does not touch the ball once. 38 touches, then a massive 0. I looked at his heat map. He spent the entire fourth quarter hiding behind the goal umpire. What happened in that huddle?
This is where Supercoach meets the underworld. Absmagic breaks their huddle early. Suddenly, Paulie Walnuts, Don Vito Corleone, and Luca Brasi casually stroll onto the field and wander right into the middle of the sacred snapper huddle.
You are kidding.
I'm serious. A few words are exchanged. Nobody knows what was said. But the snapper players walked out looking terrified.
Hemingway was a ghost. Jason Momoa, King Neptune, the skipper, all of them just checked out of the game. They refused to contest a single mark. Absmagic wins by relying entirely on off-field mob intimidation tactics.
It ruined their efficiency, that is for sure.
I mean, how do you even code that in champion data? Is the Mafia threat an effective tackle?
Probably counts as a pressure act. But if we contrast that with the other undefeated team, Rellik went the complete opposite route. No mind games. They just brutalized Sizzling Gulch with pure, unmitigated firepower.
Oh, it was a massacre.
Michael Disco Roach kicks 8 goals. Jim Steins puts on an absolute masterclass to take best on ground.
Look, I am going to push back here. Rellik looked dominant, yes, but Sizzling Gulch lost this match before the opening bounce. It was an administrative disaster. They ruined their own salary cap.
Well, yeah, Brenton Herron made a crucial clerical error. He asked Michael Scott to write up a contract for Sir Duncan the Tall, but Scott accidentally sent a max contract offer to NBA legend Tim Duncan as well.
2 max contracts.
Both contracts were signed, both players showed up. Suddenly they have a roster full of towering giants, Godzilla, Shrek, Chewbacca, Roger Murdoch.
Think about the fundamental physics of Australian rules football. When you blow $1 million of your Supercoach salary cap on a 300-foot radioactive lizard, you get 0 ground ball gets.
They can't get low enough.
Exactly. By the time Chewbacca actually bends his knees to pick up a loose ball, Dustin Martin has already run past him, taken 3 bounces, and scored. They are physically too tall to play the sport.
It is a massive roster construction flaw. You sacrifice all your midfield pressure just to win the hitouts. But tactical blunders are one thing. What happened in the mid-table matches was pure manipulation. The Paul Stanleys completely dismantled the Riley Boys Tigers.
And it all started with a radio request.
Exactly. Les Riley has had a horrific week. When you get pantsed in front of 78,000 people, your confidence is shot. So, to protect his peace and focus on his footy strategy, he blocks Peter Konadaris' phone number to avoid the mind games.
Which is a smart move.
But Peter is an evil genius. He bypasses the phone entirely. He goes to Triple M Radio and gets Paul Stanley to record a custom subliminal glam rock song called Bont Was Made to Captain You.
Oh my God.
He pays to get it played on the airwaves right before the lockout. Les is an old school rock fan, right? He is listening to Triple M in his car. The brainwashing works flawlessly. He logs into his app and slaps the captaincy on Marcus Bontempelli.
It is a devastating trap. You make Bontempelli your captain, you expect double points, but the moment the ball is bounced, the Paul Stanleys execute a quadruple tag. They swarm Bontempelli into oblivion.
Shut him down completely.
He scores total rookie numbers. And while the Riley boys are busy panicking, Prince goes down the other end and kicks 5 massive goals for the Stanleys.
Speaking of complete organizational meltdowns, Thunderstruck beat Tigerfrowl, and the focus has to be on Matthew Falls. I mean, if he truly is at a yoga retreat right now, he desperately needs the meditation.
5 handballs, 2 pressure acts. His direct opponent, Bon Scott, racks up 45 touches and 5 goals. Falls was completely distracted. But the defining moment of that game had nothing to do with the football.
No, it was at three-quarter time. Fringe player Anthony Albanese tries to give his owner, Matthew Falls, some unsolicited coaching pointers on interchange rotations.
Right.
Falls reacts by shoving him in the chest. And since Falls owns the club, he exacts immediate revenge.
He forces him to put on full clown makeup and a dunce hat. He makes him do a shuffle dance on the boundary line while the opposition fans pelt him with hot meat pies.
It was quite a visual.
Now, I want to be crystal clear to you listening. We are entirely impartial on the political figures playing in this league. We do not endorse or care about their policies. We're just relaying the source material. But strictly speaking, from a football strategy perspective, alienating your bench player and making him dodge pastries completely ruins your interchange structure.
Yes. Oh,
you cannot rotate your midfielders if your sub is wearing a clown nose.
It is terrible man management. But, if you think throwing away interchange efficiency is bad, the Flem Dogs ruined Smilly Squad's undefeated streak purely because of nepotism.
Oh, the Easter lunch incident.
Yes. Dan Evans caved to his Uncle Greg at Easter lunch.
The ultimate supercoach sin. Uncle Greg Evans harassed his nephew with calls, emails, and unannounced visits to training until he finally got named in the forward pocket. You cannot carry dead weight in this league.
And his debut lasted exactly 3 minutes. He registered 0 touches, pulled both hamstrings simultaneously while trying to lead for the ball, fell forward, and gave himself a concussion on the turf.
A legendary 3-minute disaster.
That left Smilly Squad a man down for the rest of the match.
And you look down the other end of the ground, Matthew Richardson is kicking 7 massive goals for the Flem Dogs. Smilly Squad's potato laboratory did not stand a chance when they were essentially playing with 17 men. You cannot win when family politics dictate your forward line.
Well, if human error is costing teams premiership points, we have to look at the teams relying on the animal kingdom. The Munchers are sitting at 4-1 after beating the Vipers.
I do not buy the Munchers at all. They are frauds. How are they 4-1? They beat the Vipers purely on a biological anomaly.
It comes down to Forrest Gump. He is currently breaking the league's all-time meters gained record.
Because he was terrified.
Exactly. The Vipers specifically told Jake the Snake Roberts not to bring his pet python to the ground. He ignored the directive. The python got loose, locked eyes with Forrest Gump, and chased him from the MCG all the way down the highway to Wheeler's Hill.
Meters gained equals supercoach points. That python was a performance enhancer. You are going to break sprinting records if a giant reptile is snapping at your heels. It inflated Forrest's stats entirely by accident.
The Vipers were already in severe damage control. They had 18 players missing from their primary list because they were all at WrestleMania.
Just absolute chaos.
Their fill-ins caused total confusion. And while the entire stadium was distracted by a man outrunning a snake, Jack Nicholson flew completely under the radar and kicked 6 goals for the Munchers.
Speaking of utilizing gimmicks instead of actual football mechanics, Dunder Mifflin beat Camrita Tigers. And this was tactical manipulation from Dwight Schrute.
Brilliant strategy.
Camrita's entire roster is made up of bird and wildlife enthusiasts. So Dwight installs a predator deterrent system, fake scarecrows, predator decoys, and he blasts hawk screech noises over the stadium PA system.
The Camrita players panicked instinctively. Their defensive zone completely collapsed. Andy Bernard started doing an a cappella bird symphony on the wing just to calm them down.
Incredible scenes.
But the strategic peak of the match was Michael Scott. Right in the middle of live play, he pulls out fake name tags and lanyards and hosts a bird appreciation networking event on the center square.
It is sheer genius. Think about how Supercoach values uncontested marks. The Camrita players instinctively gathered around a network and swapped business cards while the game was still going.
Hook, line, and sinker.
The Dunder Mifflin players just casually strolled past the networking circle, took uncontested marks inside 50, and kicked easy goals. They bypassed the entire defensive structure with a lanyard.
It redefines the tactical landscape of the sport. Just like Lalor. Let me set the scene here. They beat the Dodgy Wogs, and they did it while operating on a completely different biological frequency.
This defies sports science. David Boon, Merv Hughes, Shane Warne, and Ricky Ponting. They were all wheeled out onto the field in actual wheelbarrows, gripping VD bottles.
Not a single drop spilled.
They didn't spill a drop, nobody vomited,
Yeah.
and somehow they maintained the exact, perfect biological buzz to dominate the clearances.
The Dodgy Wogs threw everything at them. Jason Malia tried every underhanded trick in his playbook, but you cannot defeat a core group operating on that specific, untouchable frequency of Victoria Bitter. Their hand-eye coordination was actually enhanced.
What about Jungle Land beating Roaring Tigers? Joe Biden falls asleep on the interchange bench, and it actually helps Jungle Land win the game.
Again, to you listening, we impartially report on the politicians in this league. We do not take sides. But strictly speaking, tactically, Biden falling asleep meant Jungle Land played one man short. That streamlined their rotations. The remaining midfielders got more time on ground, which boosted their individual scoring output. Meanwhile, the Roaring Tigers owner, Deborah McCoy, demanded the ball be bombed to her in the goal square. But Max Weinberg completely blanketed her. He had her number all day.
Finally, Lalor of the Wild bypassed their usual John Cena invisibility tricks and just played direct, rugged footy to beat Houdini's rivals. And they won because Georgie Smith tried to play Moneyball with a terrible recruitment strategy.
She recruited Muppets, Gonzo, Kermit, Miss Piggy.
You cannot mark a Sharon with fluffy felt hands. They have zero grip. It is biologically impossible to take a contested mark when your hands are made of synthetic fabric.
It just doesn't work.
The ball just bounced off their faces. Layla the Wild just walked right over them, took the intercept marks, and locked the ball in their forward half.
Well, after all of that madness, we have to look at the ladder. Rellik is sitting at number 1, Absmagic at number 2. Both are 5-0. But we have to debate this, who is actually the true premiership contender here. Rellik's pure, terrifying on-field dominance, or Absmagic's off-field intimidation tactic.
Look, I am calling out Absmagic right now. Winning because you threatened a novelist in the huddle is not a sustainable brand of footy. You cannot rely on Polly Walnuts to scare the opposition every single week.
You don't think so?
No. Eventually, a team is going to call their bluff. Rellik has Disco Roach kicking 8 goals. That is actual, measurable scoreboard pressure.
That is a fair critique. But you also have to question the teams right below them. Are the Munchers a real threat at 4-1, or are they a statistical anomaly?
Fraudulent. I said it before, they are riding a wave of python-induced adrenaline. What happens next week when the snake gets locked back in its cage? Forrest Gump's meters gained will drop by 80%.
That's true.
I think the real danger is lurking in the mid-pack. The Phlegm Dogs, Thunderstruck, Layler, the 6th to 10th bracket is where the actual heavy hitters are hiding. They are battle-tested, they are high-scoring, and their percentage is incredibly tight.
If we want to talk about being battle-tested, we have to look at the bottom of the barrel. Houdini's Rivals and Riley Boys Tigers, both sitting dead last at 0-5.
Point and laugh, mate. Point and laugh. The Riley Boys are too busy fighting each other at their own intra-club training sessions to actually execute a game plan.
And Houdini's Rivals cannot pick up a football because they are wearing fluffy socks on their hands. It is amateur hour.
Absolute shocker.
The individual awards are going to be a nightmare for the league officials to tally this week, though. The Coleman Medal race is a genuine shootout. Disco Roach kicks 8, Richo kicks 7, Jack Nicholson bags 6, and Prince gets 5.
But think about the coaches' votes. How does the commissioner award best on ground in a week where mob intimidation, python attacks, and a cappella bird calls directly influence the stats?
It's impossible to weigh up.
Does Forrest Gump get 3 votes for outrunning a reptile? Does Polly Walnuts get a vote for standing menacingly in a huddle while wearing a nice suit? It completely breaks the voting metric.
It is unfiltered chaos. And the meta of this league changes every single week. And that brings us to the end of a very wild round 5.
To you listening, congratulations. You have survived another brutal week of the Shit Talkers League. Round 6 is looming, and honestly, who knows what is coming next? Who is going to show up? Who is going to ruin their own salary cap with another giant lizard?
And who is going to be the next target of extreme psychological warfare?
Exactly. We are completely out of time, but before we sign off seriously, will whoever pants less Riley please step forward?
Just put him out of his misery.
The man is suffering enough at 0-5. Give the bloke his dignity back so he can at least lose his matches while wearing his shorts. Just something for you to mull over. We will catch you next time.
It's more